Hello friends, I'm back. Video games are never complete without their soundtracks. Just like a great movie, music helps pace the action, the story, and sometimes gives you a hit right in the feels. There's tons of videos out there talking about the best video game soundtracks of all time, and more often than not, Nintendo franchises are right at the top. Nintendo games have so many incredible themes, and I'm not here to say otherwise, but I feel like Nintendo's little brother SEGA misses out a lot of the time. Nintendo's sound chips are great for fantastical, beautiful, clean sounds, but I always found the bite and grit of Sega's chip so much more appealing. When I was a little kid, I didn't want this. I wanted this. As a true Sega fanboy and a massive fan of dead consoles nobody cares about anymore, I'm here to talk about my favourite soundtracks from the Mega Drive, or the Sega Genesis as it was known in America. Of course, this is my list, and yours is going to be different, so let me know in the comments some of your favourites. Let's go. Number 10. Musha. Musha is a bullet hell top-down shooter that shows off the bite of Mega Drive sound chips so well you could almost imagine a metal band playing some of this stuff. I wonder if that's what blast processing really meant. Imagine hearing this on a Super Nintendo. It just wouldn't sound the same. This one's a cult classic, and I'd be remiss to forget about it for my list. Great tunes. Number 9. Super Hangon. This one came out in 1989 and always enraptured me as a kid. There's nothing like cruising through Africa on what I always imagined to be a Kawasaki ZX-10 while listening to Outrider Crisis. I had this on a 6-pack with a few other games you might see later, and I never missed a chance to stick it on for some good old-fashioned racing. It's an oldie but a goodie. Number 8. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. This one's such a well-rounded soundtrack. The foreboding, atmospheric and rhythmic intro always used to freak me out in a good way. People tend to love the main Mortal Kombat's music, including the classic theme, but for me, it's all about the prog-inspired stabs of the bridge, the subway, and the streets. Number 7. Castlevania Bloodlines. Now this one's interesting because of course Castlevania is a Nintendo series. For me though, the music style works so well with the trademark bite of the Mega Drive chip. Just listen to this. Number 6. Golden Axe. This one gives me goosebumps, just because I remember how these themes would stick in my head some 20 years ago. Again, it has this sort of prog rock feel that goes so well in the fantasy setting, with whistleable melodies and motifs that come back again and again. Every stage, from the driving wilderness theme to the introspective fantasy wonder of the map theme. To the finality and doom of the Death Adder theme. It all hits super hard. Not bad for a 30-plus-year-old game. Number 5. Revenge of Shinobi. So many of you might have wanted Shinobi 3 at this spot, but for me, nah, it's all about revenge. That snare sound is just iconic, and to this day when I hear a Bit Crush snare just like it, I'm taken back to my childhood of throwing shurikens all over the place. Let's go. Number 4. Sonic 3. You knew there had to be a Sonic game on this list, and I've gone for number 3. It was a hard choice. There's of course some incredible tunes on 2 and the original, but the fact that this one was some of Jun Sanue's best work, coupled with the fact that Michael Jackson was involved in some of it, just edges this one for me. Regardless of anything to do with Michael Jackson, you've got to admit the dude knew how to sell a song. Remix Angel Island and you could have a summer banger. Hydro City is funky with tons of groove. Marble Garden has loads of grit. If you've not checked this one out, do it. You won't be disappointed. Number 3. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. Oh, here we go. This one's pure nostalgia. For any Power Rangers fan, this game was a must-have as a kid. It's based on the movie from 1995, and yet pretty much wraps up the story in the first 2 levels, so that's a bit weird. Despite that, the soundtrack has all the classics we loved as kids. Taken directly from Ron Wasserman's soundtrack of the TV show, the Mega Drive was perfect to recreate the 80s inspired sleazy metal guitars. Classics such as Fight, Rita Rita Rita, We Need a Hero, Kombat, and tons more are represented, and they just wouldn't sound right without all that distorted goodness. I hate to bring up Nintendo again, but listen to this. It's great music, but it just doesn't sound right. Give me this any day. Number 2. GunStar Heroes. This one's another cult classic, and a great idea that should have been remade. Every stage's theme, from the opening to the classic military on the max power, is memorable. Hell, even the stage select theme rules. It's got that classic wobbly distorted guitar sound only the Mega Drive could make, and it's compositionally so interesting. There's not a bad part to this soundtrack, and that's why it's number 2 on my list. Number 1. Streets of Rage. So, did you guess I'd put this at number 1? You probably did. Again, loads of people would probably prefer the soundtrack to the second game, but for me this one hits harder, all across the board. Made by the unbeatable Yuzo Koshiro, the soundtrack to Streets of Rage is a thumping cacophony of tunes you could easily dance to. I still have many of the themes on my phone to listen to and pump me up when I need it. It's the guilty pleasure I'm so not guilty about. Just listen to such classics as the opening stage, Moon Beach, Violent Breathing, and The Last Soul. They've been remade and remade over the years by hundreds of admirers, and sometimes they actually come out pretty good. Just check out this remake of the beach stage by Introspect. Streets of Rage just came out as I'm writing this, and I've been playing it and loving the soundtrack. There's even a retro feature, but if you try it out, you'll notice it's missing something. These themes don't sound like they're coming from a Mega Drive. It's missing that grit. It's far too clean. A little disappointing, but still, go check out the game, it's incredible. And not to mention the original soundtrack, not the retro one, is brilliant. The question remains, would I have still enjoyed these games without the sound of their themes? Of course, I probably would have, and I'd still be talking about them to this day. But I doubt that hearing some of the themes would make me move as they do now, and make my arm hairs stand on end as much as they do now, like the old, sad, nostalgic 90s nerd that I am. Cheers for watching. As I said earlier, let me know in the comments what themes you reckon I missed out on, and let me know if there's any topics you'd like me to cover in future videos. See you later.